Hi there. So today I had a conversation with one of my friends this morning, and at his employer, someone has now tested positive for COVID. So the measures that they had implemented were already pretty draconian, and it was hard, it's hard for him to keep his mouth shut, because he, like many of us, are aware of the scam that the C event is. So he's concerned that when he goes back to work on Saturday, that, or as time goes on, that they're going to implement even more draconian measures. And then that, of course, is just going to increase the fear of those that have fear. And then it's going to inflame those of us that are against this more. And so his whole thing is, how do we deal with it? Because it's really hard to sit there all day around people that are buying the nonsense when you just want to scream from the rooftops what you've discovered as far as, why this doesn't add up. Statistically, it doesn't add up. The numbers aren't there. The things keep changing. You don't know anyone dying. You don't know anyone that has it. The efficacy of masks is cloth masks is 0. So why are people being told? It's those kinds of things that the people need to question versus, just listening to the TV. And people have to comprehend that there is no expectation of the news to be accurate. Ever since the Smith-Mundt Act in 2012, propaganda is legal. And so it's just gone downhill. The media has gone downhill even more than it already was from then. Now there's just no expectation of true journalism. So we need to make videos. We need to be the ones making the videos, we the people, and sharing them on social media. And just be it random thoughts that you have, or if you are researching something, share your screen and it's like, I found this or I found that. And you don't have to put your opinion in it necessarily. You can. But the more of us that do that, people come, as you do videos, you become human to your audience versus, just words on a paper, words on social media. And it also becomes more, it becomes easier for people to see that, there are normal people that think what's going on isn't right. It's not that everyone that thinks that this whole event, it's not that we're all these tinfoil hat wearing. We're relatively normal people. We ask questions. We don't just follow. I guess the ones that have woken up are maybe your natural born leaders versus your followers. We, question authority. What gives you power over me? And we need to remember that people do not have power over us, but we give it away. And then if you don't make videos, you need to question to yourself why. I didn't for a long time for fear that people would judge me, that I would get terrible feedback, that people in my real life would, see my videos and start clowning or whatever, which would be immature, or just, I was fearful of trolls, or that I wouldn't get, and it's been the exact opposite. I've had very nice interactions with people that I've met from doing my videos, and it's motivating, and then of course you have the element of self-doubt, am I seeing this right? Am I thinking through these concepts correctly? Can I even explain this to someone else? And, and then I was camera shy and just all these things. But now that I do the videos, I wish I had done them earlier. And, you don't have to have all this great grandiose production value or anything like that, it's just important for you to. And then we get into the acceptance of self and connecting with your inner voice. And, if I sit here and I say, that I am, I'm a nice person, I'm wise beyond a lot of these humans, it seems. I'm, decent looking, I'm whatever. I mean, I start sounding egomaniacal. I start sounding like, that I think I'm better than others. And that's the programming. That's, we need to be comfortable saying or thinking, that I am these things. And I do deserve, to be appreciated or to be treated in a certain manner. And I should not accept treatment that is below what I deserve. But the programming has us to where we can't even name positive traits about ourselves without us feeling as if we are bragging or, something. Believe me, I've got plenty of self-doubt. And it's just the programming. I just cannot convey enough. And it's everywhere. I mean, it is disheartening when you think about it and you think about what's happened to humanity. So we just need to be positive. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So what do we do? So typically what I do is when I'm discussing this event with somebody, I will say, well, because of this scamdemic, or I'll use a term to where the person knows that I think it's nonsense. Now, they go two ways. They either like, oh my gosh, you don't believe your TV? Oh my gosh, what's wrong with you? Or they're like, yeah, I think it's crap too. When they get into I think it's crap too, that's when you can start having a conversation about, why it's crap. And you ask them, what do you think? I mean, why do you think? What's not adding up? And then, based on what they say, you can always, I mean, if you're familiar with what's actually going on, you can educate them further. I had a nice conversation with a guy in the grocery store. He was like, wow, you really do know what's going on. And, but seriously, I mean, that's how, because we do want to wake the others up, but you don't want to come off as some psychopathic crazy person. I mean, I've literally been put in a mental facility for trying to discuss matters like this with my family. So I don't advise just going all out and trying to just explain to everybody what's going on. I mean, even though it's nice. But I do advise dropping little bits of information, starting yourself a platform. I mean, it doesn't even have to be in your name. If you're afraid of, people finding you or something like that, do it not in your name and, get what's off your chest out there, share it, and you might be surprised at the feedback you get back. There's a reason they call it a collective consciousness. I mean, more and more of the collective of who has the divine spark or pure awareness or whatever you want to call it, we are awakening. And this is the biggest awakening that has ever occurred out of any awakening of this species. So I am certain we're racing the clock against reset. They're trying to reset the realm. I get that we've got till 2024. So enjoy the ride and be as positive as you can. Share your message. Shine your light. Be yourself. And, try to get over the self-doubt, as hard as that is. I mean, but really, people probably aren't judging you nearly as harshly as you are yourself. Have a great day. Oh, and one more thing. Another thing is all this knowledge, is not, to have the knowledge at the tip of your fingertips, to be able to type in something and research. That's fine. But the one thing that some people are leaving out is the discernment. Because we're meant to get knowledge telepathically and via the ether and from our internal selves and things like that. And not necessarily so rapidly as well. And so we sit on things and think about them. But having the access to the knowledge, you look it up and it's like, oh, that's what it is. And then you never ponder it again a lot of the times. When if you didn't have access to that knowledge, you may ponder something for quite a long time and get more clues, get more information, get more insight from your internal ponderings. And something that my friend and I were talking about this morning that just absolutely, and I really hadn't thought about it, but yeah, is that ASMR stuff where they like tap and talk, and that's supposed to relax people, or they're like making these crazy noises, and that's like relaxation. What happened to silence? I mean, silence is where we really find ourselves, and it's just another program. It's another program to keep people from connecting with their internal voice. And I know a lot of people that are afraid of silence. They have to have the TV on or something all the time. And we've got to get over that. We've got to be able to sit with ourselves. And if you can't deal with something you've done or something like that, you need to talk to somebody maybe. I mean, it's there's no point in suffering alone, and trust me, there are things that like nobody could probably tell me anything that would shock me, for example, so if you want to talk to somebody, talk to me. I mean, it's not healthy to keep things bottled up. It's not healthy to think that you're the worst person in the world because you did a bad thing 20 years ago. And I know people that are like that. I mean, one past event, one terrible event doesn't define you as a person. I had a bad year once. That surely didn't define me as a person. But people, boy, they really wanted to make it do that. And again, that's part of the societal programming. It's just, it's been so terrible for this species. But once we're aware that it exists, we can help overcome it, or we can try to overcome it. So, have a great day. If you need somebody to talk to, you can always reach out. Have a good one.